What's up, everybody? It's your boy APOC here, bringing you some Domination MW3 gameplay. And if y'all may know, I only use snipers, which can be good and bad at times. Mainly good. I mean, all good. Well, the topic I wanted to bring you all today was actually it's a touchy subject with me, and it is cancer. And as y'all may know, I lost my mother a couple months ago in January to cancer. And yeah, okay. Well, here's how it all worked out. My mother had stage 4 terminal cancer, and through her time fighting cancer, she lived about 6 years. You know, she had 6 good years left. You know, she fought all those 6 years. I don't know how that didn't hit. And you know, and in my life, I've always had some type of form of cancer in my family. You know, I've had my grandfather had cancer, my grandmother, hell, even my dog. You know, even my video editor has cancer. You know, I mean, it's just like it's not out of my life. And how it worked out with my mother is 6 or 7 years ago, she was diagnosed with colon cancer. And you know, I was little at the time. I was about in 4th grade. And you know, the first thought that came to my mind is, you know, when I heard cancer, you think, well, you're dead. You know, this person ain't going to survive. And that's kind of what my mindset at the time. And you know, so I was scared. And my mother kind of reassured me, saying, you know, we can fight this. And you know what? For a long time, I was positive about it. You know, I was always positive for my mother, and just everything was so fine. You know, I mean, she fought, and I was there for her, and we supported her, and you know, she was making it through. And there was one time where she was actually in remission. And remission is you're pretty much close to being, you know, cancer free. So you know, everyone fought, and everybody was, you know, doing fine. And then what happened was my stepfather left my mother. He actually had multiple affairs with my mother near the time when she had cancer. And what happened was all the stress and everything made it go to her lungs. All the tumors, everything were in her lungs, in her colon, and there was one in her liver. And at that time, she was diagnosed with stage 4 terminal cancer. And I'm going to kill. Alright, anyways. So what happened after that was she became very, very ill, and it took a real bad toll on her body. I mean, she could not eat that well as she wanted. She was always sleeping, you know. And when my stepfather left, I was the one who had to take care of her. I sat there and I bathed my mother, I fed my mother, I had a job, you know. So when I was in high school, I quit all my sports just to get a job. You know, I was football, wrestling, powerlifting. I was one of those type of guys. But I wound up quitting my job so I can help support my mother, because the bills got real bad, and it was pretty bad after a while, you know. And it got to the point where I felt like I couldn't take care of my own mother by myself. So I wound up moving to New Mexico with my grandparents, with my mother. It's not like I left her. So what happened after that was my mother became very sick, and she had to be hospitalized. And we wound up putting her in hospice, which is, you know what hospice is? It's where people who become very ill and can't take care of themselves anymore go, and what they do is they take care of those people. My mother was really sick. And, you know, they couldn't take care of me anymore, my grandparents. So my grandparents wound up just taking me and make me go with my father. So for a while, every other weekend I would drive down to New Mexico, and New Mexico is a 10-hour drive. So every other weekend I would go drive 10 hours just to go see my mother in hospital. And it got to the point where she was in so much pain that she just decided she wanted to give up. And my mother's a very stubborn woman, let me tell you that. And so what wound up happening is I went over there, and she wound up just pulling the plug, you know. She was pumping morphine and all that good stuff, just all the painkillers, no other medicine. She just wanted to be not in pain. And you know, I've always been proud of my mom, because she could sit there and she can still look in the face of death and just say, you know what, everything's gonna be okay. You know. Well, my eldest brother, who's 29, wound up going down to New Mexico her last couple days, and he said that she was sitting there holding on for something. And so I wound up having to go to my mother, and by the time I saw her, she was not responsive at all. She was not moving, she couldn't talk, but she knew I was there. So what wound up happening is, um, she was just waiting for me to talk to her. And I told my mother, um, hey, it's okay. I just wanted to say, it's okay for you to pass. My mother was in pain, and, I couldn't be selfish like that. I couldn't be selfish like that, so I told her it's okay to pass. It's okay. You've had your fight, you've had your life, you did your job for me, my brother. So it's time for you just to be happy, just move on. So she wound up moving on. Today she's in heaven. Ah, crap, I lagged out the gameplay. Well, anyways, so today I live with my father, and that's my story as far as what cancer has done to my life. And so my mother's up there now. She ain't hurting anymore, and I mean, I'm sorry for not the greatest commentating. It's just a hard subject for me personally, and you know, I'm sorry for the lag out, but thanks for guys for listening, and APOC out.